ABC 10 News at 5 starts right now.
San Diego Beach is packed with people trying to escape the extreme heat. How hot it got today and the records we broke.
And starting tomorrow, COVID-19 vaccinations will open up to all San Diegans 50 and up. How the county plans to handle the expansion in eligibility as we wait for an increase in supply. Plus, a new double mutant variant of the coronavirus has been discovered. What it means for our continued fight against the pandemic.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
I think it's really warm today.
San Diego County is breaking records as Santa Ana winds bring extreme heat to our area. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Pena.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Temperatures reach the 90s in some of our inland neighborhoods today. Usually those Santa Ana winds increase our risk of fire danger. But as our ABC 10 News reporter Melissa Masiha explains, one factor is decreasing the threat.
It's spring, or is it summer? With the hot temperatures, some of you and your pets, I'm sure, tried to stay cool indoors. Or if you headed out, the beach was the place to be. You had plenty of company. Mission Beach Wednesday afternoon was packed. In the East County, the temperature in Santee, mid-80s by early afternoon. Some kids braved the heat at Steel Canyon Park in Rancho San Diego, but Parker Gilmore knew how to stay safe.
I really like waters. I really like to keep myself hydrated, especially my great-grandma is really always on to me about drinking water.
We caught Parker catching a breath with his family and friends.
Taking advantage of the shade time. It's a beautiful day, and at least there's a breeze.
A little more than a breeze in some parts of the county. Those Santa Ana winds help to increase our temperatures.
Well, the heat can happen any time of the year. The Santa Anas, the season is starting to wind down a little bit. We usually get our most active Santa Ana months are in the fall and the winter.
These strong winds not unheard of around this time. Mark Mady with the National Weather Service confirmed the last Santa Ana event during this time of year in March was back in 2019. When we hear Santa Ana's, fire danger usually isn't far behind. But there's no red flag warning this time. Part of that reason, the recent rain.
It was a marginal call. The winds were going to be strong for a period of time this morning and into early afternoon. The fuel moistures are low, but not critically low. And I think that was the main reason why.
But remember, in Southern California, our fire season is year-round, even though the Santa Ana should be wrapping up soon. With the heat wave not quite over, Parker knew what he was going to do.
I'm glad I get to go back in my pool.
Melissa Masiha, ABC 10 News.
And our ABC 10 News weathercaster Jennifer Dela Cruz is tracking the heat and how much longer that will last. It is hot out there, Jen.
Yeah, Steve, we broke several records today, and it is going to be another warm one for tomorrow, but we do have some relief on the way. So we broke a record today in San Diego and Chula Vista with a high temp of 88 degrees today. Vista hit 89, still very warm out there right now. El Cajon and Santee didn't break any records, but they did creep up into the 90s today. And you can see it is significantly hotter than it was at this time just 24 hours ago. 22 degrees warmer in San Diego, 23 for La Jolla and Imperial Beach. So very warm, much different from yesterday. And tomorrow's still going to be hot as well. As of right now, we still have upper 80s on the board for much of the county. We're not seeing any relief just yet. We will see a little bit of a cool down as we head into your holiday this weekend. And I've got all of that coming up in your 7-day forecast.
All right, looking forward to it, Jen. Now to the coronavirus and the race to vaccinate more Americans. Starting tomorrow, San Diegans 50 years and older will be eligible to get the COVID-19 vaccine. And in 2 weeks, eligibility expands to everyone 16 and older. But as ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala explains, some healthcare systems worry they won't have enough doses to immediately accommodate this new group.
All Californians 50 and older will be eligible to get a COVID-19 vaccine starting Thursday, April 1st. Kaiser, Scripps, Sharp, and Palomar Health all tell ABC 10 News they are prepared for this next phase. But of course, appointments are only available when they actually have enough doses to give.
We're prepared in the sense of we're ready to go. We just don't have the vaccines yet. So for this week, we only got 10,000 doses. That's not enough to cover people 50 and older.
Dr. Ghazala Sharif is the chief medical officer of acute care for Scripps Health, which is running the superstation in Del Mar. It's had to shut down multiple times, including this week, due to a shortage of vaccines.
We've been told that we're getting less doses at Del Mar because of the zip code it's in. Actually, I just asked the county today, can you give us any indication of what we might expect for next week? And we don't know yet.
Sharif says they typically get little notice, making planning ahead difficult.
So we're told Thursday or Friday what we might get. We don't even get them physically into our hands till Monday or Tuesday.
The county did just open new vaccination sites in areas heavily impacted by the coronavirus. The Health and Human Services Agency says the county's expecting about a 23% increase in vaccine supply this week. On April 15th, eligibility expands again to anyone 16 and older. As of Tuesday, about 560,000 San Diegans, or roughly 20%, have been fully vaccinated, and more than 921,000 residents have received at least one dose of the 2-dose vaccines. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Because today is a holiday, the county will give an update on our local COVID situation and vaccine supply tomorrow. A major mishap, a factory making the Johnson & Johnson vaccine accidentally ruined nearly 15 million doses. The New York Times reports that the problem was human error when workers mixed the ingredients. The mistake did not affect doses that had already been sent out. However, production on more doses will be halted for now. That will create weeks of delays and backups. The FDA is investigating. The Biden administration believes there will still be enough vaccine available to stick with the plan of all Americans becoming eligible May 1st. Scientists are investigating a new coronavirus variant in India. They're calling a double mutant. Using a genetic database, ABC 10 News found that variant has also been detected here in California. But what exactly is a double mutant and how did it form? ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl is going in depth.
India is in the midst of a big surge, reporting 5 times as many daily COVID infections as last month. Most of the spike is happening in the affluent state of Maharashtra. And when health officials looked at the viral sequences, they found 15 to 20% of the cases in that state belonged to a new variant.
We have seen this double mutant E484Q and L452R.
The term double mutant took off online, but it's a little misleading, says UC San Diego virologist Dr. Davey Smith.
The virus mutates all the time and makes lots of mutations. And some of those mutations, more than one of those mutations might occur on the same virus. And we know that this is coming, and this is just how evolution works.
All of the variants you've heard about, UK, South Africa, Brazil, have multiple mutations, between 5 and 11 mutations just in their spike proteins. The significance of this double mutant is that it has 2 important mutations in one important region, the spot on the virus that actually attaches to cells. That spot is also the best target for antibodies.
Why that's concerning is that as we all get vaccinated and we start developing antibodies, perhaps these mutations make it more likely for us to get infected even after a vaccine. None of that's really borne out in real life, so to speak, but scientists are looking at it.
These 2 important mutations are called E484Q and L452R. The numbers refer to their position in the viral sequence. Both had been detected in people before, but not together. One mutation emerged in India. The other is a trait in the California variant.
So there's 2 different ways that this could happen. One is a virus just goes along and it makes a mutation and it likes it, and it then makes another mutation later on and it likes it. And that would just be double mutations over time.
Dr. Smith says the other possibility is that one person got infected with 2 different variants at roughly the same time. And inside their cells, the virus replicated with bits of both.
Some viruses can recombine, and that means taking a little bit of genetic material from one of the variants and then genetic material from another one of the variants to make a new offspring.
Scientists still need to learn a lot more about the double mutant before deciding if it's worth classifying as a variant of concern. But it's not just in India. Using a genetic database built by Scripps Research, we found there have been at least 13 cases of the so-called double mutant in the U.S., including 10 in California. The first was found in Los Angeles on January 8th, but it hasn't been detected in the States since March 6th, suggesting it's not yet taking off. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
And you can follow any developments surrounding the pandemic by downloading our free mobile app. Just go to the App Store and search 10 News.
It's not a plan that tinkers around the edges. It's a once-in-a-generation investment in America.
That is President Biden in Pittsburgh today, unveiling his new plan to rebuild the country's infrastructure and create hundreds of thousands of new jobs. The president wants to spend $2 trillion on new roads and bridges, public transportation, and internet, especially in rural areas. To pay for it, President Biden wants to roll back some of the corporate tax cuts passed by the Trump administration. Senate Republicans say that could make it tough to get their support.
Let's see what this infrastructure package looks like. If it's a Trojan horse for a massive tax increase, put me down as highly skeptical.
The plan would also create new penalties for corporations that move jobs overseas. Now to the day 3 of the trial for Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer charged in the death of George Floyd. Today, the convenience store cashier who was handed a counterfeit $20 bill by Floyd, he testified. As ABC's Trevor Alt explained, that exchange set off Floyd's ill-fated encounter with police.
Jurors in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin hearing today from Christopher Martin, the clerk at Cup Foods who received the counterfeit $20 bill from George Floyd on the day he died.
When I saw the bill, I noticed that it had a blue pigment to it, kind of how a $100 bill will have, and I found that odd, so I assumed that it was fake.
The prosecution playing surveillance video from both inside and outside the store as Martin described how he felt that day.
Disbelief and guilt.
Why guilt?
If I would have just not taken the bill, this could have been avoided.
The jury also hearing from Christopher Belfry, who recorded the incident from his car.
We've seen them placing him in the police car, so that's all I seen, and I kept on driving. I thought he was detained. I thought it was over, so I kept on going home.
Over the past 3 days, the jury has heard from numerous witnesses to Floyd's death, including Genevieve Hansen, a firefighter and EMT who was off duty that day and begged officers to let her help.
And when you couldn't do that, how did that make you feel?
Totally distressed.
Frustrated?
Yes.
Darnella Frazier, the teenager who recorded that now viral video of Floyd's death, also took the stand.
I heard George Floyd saying, I can't breathe, please get off of me. I can't breathe. He cried for his mom. He was in pain. It seemed like he knew. It was over for him.
Chauvin is facing manslaughter and second and third degree murder charges to which he has pleaded not guilty. The 3 other officers involved in Floyd's death go on trial later this year. Trevor Alt, ABC News, New York.
And Border Patrol released this shocking video of human smugglers slowly dropping 2 toddlers over the border wall before just taking off. One of them dropped right there. This happened late last night at the border in New Mexico. The children, just ages 5 and 3, they did suffer minor injuries from that 14-foot drop. They were treated and are now in CBP custody. Agents are working with Mexican authorities to try and catch the smugglers. And you are looking at new video over my shoulder right now, taken from Sky 10 about 15 minutes ago. The plane is believed to be carrying more of the migrant girls who are expected to get temporary shelter at the San Diego Convention Center. So far, more than 700 girls are being housed there. Dozens have tested positive for COVID before and after arriving here in San Diego. Those with the virus, they have been separated from the others, and they are now being monitored. Officials say none of the cases so far are considered serious, and no staffers have tested positive.